So Games Workshop has just released the latest box set for Aeronautica Imperialis called Wrath of Angels, and it features the Space Marines and Eldar, or if you're a youngster, Adeptus Astartes and Azir, assuming I'm pronouncing that right. If you're interested in Aeronautica Imperialis and you haven't already gotten a board set, I strongly recommend you get the board set Outer Reaches Area of Engagement as soon as possible. These boards tend to disappear once the supplies are gone, and they haven't reprinted any of them so far, so they have a very limited time on the store shelves. So the models will stick around for a while. They get reproduced every once in a while anyway. The issue is with the boards. So if you don't already have a board set, please get one now, or you'll be disappointed. Your other choice is to buy a hex map from some other non-GW sources. If you want to do that, you want a map that's at least 19 by 18 hexes to match what GW has. You want 2-inch hexes minimum. I would really recommend 2.5-inch hexes just to make space for the bases, the little knobs on the side, and the wing tips that stick out on each side. So you have been warned. If you don't already have a map set, get the Outer Reaches Area of Engagement before they're all gone off the shelf. So let's talk about the last mission. There was apparently a big problem with how the Imperials set up their list. Most missions designed by people today are done in increments of 25 points. It's just a natural instinct for us wargamers, as most of our game systems, 25 points, 50 points, 100 points, that's how you design your mission sizes. Unfortunately, the Imperial list wasn't flexible enough once you started adding bombers. Because my bombers are all 30 points and the fighters are 25 points, anytime I add a bomber or a destroyer, we're denying an extra fighter for the Imperials, because you just can't take that extra fighter that's 25 points once you make a Marauder choice. Orcs don't have this issue because in a 50-point section, you get a 28-point bomber and you can take a Dakajet for 16 points to be 44 points. Imperials with a 25-point fighter and a 30-point bomber, you can't even take 2 bombers because that'll take you to 60 points, and even 1 bomber, 30 points, tack on 25 for a fighter and you're at 55 points. It's a huge weakness of the list. So how do I fix this while keeping it fair? One option is allow the Imperials to redo the squadron lists, but then I would need to do the same for the Orcs, and at this point I don't think the Orcs really need it. Another option is to reset the options so that all aircraft are bare bones and you just buy equipment for each aircraft once you're selecting your aircraft for the missions. This sort of defeats the purpose of the squadron attrition rules. So my final decision was I'll just add some points to any mission where I think I'm going to include a bomber type. That way both Orcs and Imperials can use the extra points to do something. So when I'm adding points for a 75-point mission and I want to allow 1 bomber, I'll just add another 5 points to make it 80 points. For 100-point missions, we'll add 5 points to allow a potential of 1 bomber for 105. Or if I think the bomber deserves, or the mission deserves to have 2 bombers, I'll make it 10 points so that they can take 2 bombers. It'll be decided on a mission by mission basis. For 125-point missions, we'll add the 10 points to allow the potential of 2 bombers to 135. 150-point missions, again, we'll add the 10 points to allow the potential of 2 bombers for 160. For 175 points, again, we'll add 10 points to allow the potential of 2 bombers of 185. And for 200 points, there's no point of changing it because our squadron sizes are set for 200 points. So that'll give people the option to take everything they have available at that time, regardless. Our next mission is the search and rescue mission. The idea is we're going to look for and retrieve a crew that has been lost in the middle of a battlefield. In preparation of this mission, I decided to allow 110 points for the potential of 2 transports. I just felt that the whole point being to rescue someone. If you only have 1 transport, it's too easy to shoot it down and deny those points to the attacker. So we'll do a standard roll to see who the attacker is. High roll will be the attacker, and for each turn, high roll will have the initiative for each turn, same as always. As I'm playing solo, I'm doing a little minor change here. I'm going to place counters with the numbers turned down so I don't see them. I'll shuffle them around a bit and then deploy them as listed in the rules. That way I won't know which is which, and I'll roll d6 to determine which objective marker is the downed aircrew. So there's 2 special rules for this mission. The first one is the regular mission specific heavy smoke, which is a standard mission rule. And it specifies that at altitude 2 or lower, you're in the clouds. It's no long range shots are permitted, mid range shots are cut in half, and no effect to short range shots. Altitude 3 and higher are not affected by this rule. I've also decided I want to try the optional mission rule, which is hard radiation. The area has been bombed by both sides to the point where level 0 and 1 have the potential to harm Imperial and Orc pilots due to the amount of hard radiation. Each time you drop to or below level 1, first turn is free, but second turn onwards, you make a handling check to see if the radiation has affected the crew. Failed rolls will result in 1 structure point. Once you fly above level 1, I'm going to reset the counter just to make it a little more easier and more fair for both sides. If you drop below level 2 a second time, we'll start again. First turn, no poisoning. Second turn, you have to roll as per normal. I think that will make the game more interesting and will hopefully keep people jumping up and down, so we're changing altitude a bit rather than just constantly flying at altitude level 1. So here's the roll off. See how many points we're rolling for. So we rolled 3, so that'll be the mid zone. And who's going to be attacker? Who's going to be defender? Blue is Imperial, greens are Orc. And it looks like Orcs will be the attacker. So from having the roll off, we're having a game of 135 points, and the Orcs won the roll, so they will take the role of the attacker. That will leave the Imperials defending. And again, we're going to take and have the heavy smoke rule and the hard radiation rule to make the game more interesting. So with Orcs as the attackers, my first choice was to choose a heavy bomber as the primary rescue vehicle. Someone has to pick up the boss. I chose a Grot bomber as the backup, partly because it's got the same number of structure points, and also because it's got the Grot bombs. Hopefully it will be able to help defend the heavy bomber as it makes its approach, or defend itself if it finds itself in the position where it has to do the rescue itself. Then it was a case of choosing the fighters. I honestly tried to figure out a way to bring in all 4 Dakka jets, but no matter what combinations I came up with, and I even tried a few without using a Grot bomber, there were too many extra points left over. I didn't want the Orcs to fall into the same trap that the Imperials did last game, where they're giving up too many points at the beginning of the game just because they didn't use up all the points. So we ended up with 3 Dakka jets for a total of 48 points, and a fighter bomber with another 25 points, plus the 2 heavy bombers, the Grot bomber and the heavy bomber, at 28 points apiece. That gave us 129 points, with 6 points left over. Birdie will lead the fighters as the fly boss this mission, hopefully get a chance to use his reroll, and hopefully gain some more experience. Finally, for the Imperials, they got 135 points for a mission, and this is great for them. All 3 Thunderbolts and the Thunderbolt Fury were out in force. That's 100 points taken off right there. That just left 35 points to use. Now I thought about a destroyer or even taking 2 of them, but Imperials are on the defense here. It's critical they protect, or in actuality deny the base. And I didn't know which base it was going to be myself. I figured my best bet was to find some Hydra flak batteries and spread them across the front. This had the advantage of more activations in the shooting phase, potentially spreading fire over a much larger area than a single plane could cover, and cheaper if I got 1 or 2 destroyed as opposed to the cost of a Marauder destroyer. So with 4 fighters plus 4 Hydra defense platforms, that was 132 points. I did almost buy a Manticore missile platform, but all the ground defenses are hiding in heavy smoke, so no long distance shooting would be allowed. It didn't make sense to take the Manta. The shorter range Hydras would potentially be much more effective as the transports came in close to the landing zones. For anyone worried about me using the Hydras, the squadron rules are quite specific. You're only required to plan your aircraft, nothing else. And the rules for this mission do include the use of ground defense platforms. The only real issue using ground defense platforms is they don't gain experience like an aircraft does. Anything they shoot down, it doesn't help your pilots, nor do the ground defenses gain any experience themselves. It's just lost experience. So the best thing to do with them is to weaken the enemy with anti-aircraft fire first, and then hopefully do the final shots with your pilots. Except for me, my ground defenses historically tend to shoot down the enemy while the aircraft miss. We'll have to see what happens in this battle. So for our different strategies, let's start with the Orcs. The heavy flyers, the Grot Bomber and the Heavy Bomber, they only have a throttle of 1, and they only have a maximum speed of 4, and they're going to have to drop down to altitude 1 before they can land. So I need to keep them moving forward at a speed that's useful, yet be able to slow down as they approach the boss. So starting them off at level 2 where they can stay out of the hard radiation and hopefully get some protection from the smoke. For that to work, the heavies are going to count on all the Orc fighters to search for and locate the boss, harass and keep the enemy fighters away from the heavies, and possibly strafe and clear the ground defenses protecting the boss for the heavies. Imperial Navy, very simple. Fighters, especially the Thunderbolts with the infrared tracking, will go after the Orc heavies as soon as possible. With their infrared targeters, they're not hindered by smoke. The Fury may just have to stay above the smoke and bait the other Orc flyers out of the smoke to get his shots in. Even going into the smoke, he does suffer penalty, but he still has a decent number of shots. Meanwhile, the flak guns are placed at the maximum forward position allowed in the mission. Because of their spacing and location, each objective will be covered by at least 2 Hydras, making all approaches dangerous unless the Orcs spend the time clearing the Hydras away first. We'll see whose strategy works best. So here we go. This is the Orc deployment. And I'm just going to zoom in a bit so that you can see what we've actually got here. Starting from our right side, we have Fighter Bomber, followed by the Grot Bomber, followed by Daka Jet. Then on the other side, we have another Daka Jet, the Heavy Bomber, and another Daka Jet. Theory being here is the Daka Jets and Fighter Bombers are going to escort the 2 heavies as they move forward across the table, both protecting the heavies and hopefully finding the boss before the Imperials engage them. And here we have the Imperial side of the battle line. Notice we have our 6 objectives placed out. I'm using these Warhammer coins. They're numbered 1 to 6. Numbers are down. I've shuffled them around so I do not know which one is which. And 6 hexes in, we have a line of Hydra anti-aircraft platform. Necessary because we need to stop the Orc heavies from getting too close. Starting on our right, we have the Thunderbolt Fury flown by the squadron commander, followed by another Thunderbolt, followed by another Thunderbolt, and finally another Thunderbolt. The whole intent of this line is to make sure that the Orcs will have a hard time both getting to and identifying the objectives, and then preventing the heavies from getting to the objectives themselves to land and pick up the boss. All the objectives have at least 2 Hydras at this point able to protect them. All of them just in or very close to short range. So we're going to take and roll dice to determine which objective has the boss. And it's going to be objective number 4. One thing I forgot to mention in deployment, all the aircraft are at altitude level 2, so they're all hiding in the smoke. And the Orc heavy flyers are all going speed 3. Their maximum speed is 4, but just in case they have to go down a level, I don't want them pushing themselves. Meanwhile, the Fightas and the Fighter bombers are all going max speed. Same with the Imperial flyers. They're all at altitude 2, and they're all going at max speed, hoping to intercept the heavies and or the fighters and fighter bomber in advance. Rolling to see who's going to get first activation. Blue will be Imperials, green will be Orcs. Tied at 2. And it looks like the Imperials are going to get the first activation, rolling a 6. So beginning the turn, first activation goes to the Imperials. And the first thing we're going to do, I think, is we'll move the far Thunderbolt here. And he chose to do a swoop. Now he's going speed 6. I think I'm going to drop him down to speed 4. 6, 5, 4. And he's going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4 and turn back. First Orc activation, it may as well be one of these bombers, because you know what they're going to do. They're going to go straight ahead. He's at altitude 2, traveling speed 4. I'm going to leave him at 4 and go forward 1, 2, 3, 4. Now he needs to be within 3 hexes in order to spot which number they are. Unfortunately, he's not close enough for that. Going to our second Imperial activation, I'll go to this Thunderbolt, and same thing, I'm going to reduce his speed from 6 down to 4. Turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, and turn to face the enemy again. Next Orc activation, again, Grok Bomber. I'm showing him at speed 3. I'm going to increase him to speed 4. And he's going to go forward maximum speed 1, 2, 3, 4. And Imperials are basically going to do the same thing again, doing a swoop, dropping to speed 4. Turn, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn back. Dakajet, we're going to take this one and try to go forward maximum speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's now just within range to check out this coin. This coin is coin number 2. So that's not where the boss is hiding. Final Imperial Flyer. He's doing a swoop as well. Again, slowing down to speed 4, turning 1, 2, 3, 4. And this Dakajet, he's going forward, speed 1, or sorry, maneuver 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And as Imperials have nothing else left to move, we'll just move the rest of the squadron. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. He's in range here, and he's revealed counter number 5. So neither of the front ones are the boss. And finally, the fighter bomber, he's also doing level flight. He's only got a max speed of 7. Yeah, so he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, end of first turn. We haven't found the boss, who's hiding under number 4. And we can see that the Imperials are keeping their distance. They want to stay at medium range. That's where their firepower is most effective, normally. But at this point, everyone is still hiding in the clouds, hoping to reduce fire on themselves. Bombers are coming up, ready to take and check to see, or take advantage of the objective once it's revealed. And that ends the movement turn for turn 1. So I just finished putting 8 counters besides all the flak batteries. That way I know whether or not they're fired by simply turning them over, and nobody else on the field actually uses 8 for maneuvers. So starting with the Imperial activations, first activation is going to be this Hydra battery, shooting at the Dakajet. Dakajet has moved into short range. Even though he's in cloud cover does not affect at short range. So Hydra at this range gets 6 shots, 5s to hit, 5s to damage. And we have 3 hits, needing 5s to damage. And he'll take a damage point. The Dakajet, I think we'll have him fire back at the Hydra. No one likes getting shot up. Orc gets 8 shots at this range. They need 5s to hit and 5s to damage as well. And he'll hit twice with a 6. And needing 5s to damage. And he'll do 1 damage point. Moving over just a bit, we're going to have the second Hydra fire on red 1. Again, 6 shots, needing 5s to hit, 5s to damage. And we got 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy cow, I've never seen one do this well before. 5 hits, needing 5s to damage. And not 1 damage in spite of everything. Put him back, where was he? Yeah. So the Orc Dakajet will fire back. Again, he has 8 shots, needing 5s and 5s. 2 hits. And the Dakajet needs 5s to damage. And he will do a single damage point as well to the Hydra. Again, short range. The third Hydra, 3 spaces away from red 3. He's going to open fire. 6 shots, 5s to hit, 5s to damage. And we've got 3 hits. 5s to damage. And we got 2 hits, or sorry, 2 damage.
Dakajets only have 2, so away he goes. So the Orcs get next activation, and since the Dakajet's gone, we go over to the fighter bomber. He's at short range to this Hydra here. He's got the extra guns, so we're going to take a roll. 10 shots, 5s to hit, 5s to damage. 1, 2, 3. And I see 2 5s, that's it. Needing 5s to damage. No damage. So the Hydra will fire back. 6 shots. Again, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. Oh, another 3 hits by the Hydra. And 5s to damage, and he'll do 1 damage point to the fighter bomber. Fortunately for the fighter bomber, he actually has 3 points of structure, so he's still got 2 to go before he's gone. We're at the point where the 2 heavies could activate next. However, I checked the range. None of the Hydras are within medium range. They're all at distance 8 or more. So unfortunately, they don't have a shot. Now in theory, the Grot Bomber here, he could take and launch Grot Bombs. But they go D3 plus 3 every turn. We're a little far away from the Imperial fighters to use them just now. So I'm going to hold off on those maybe till next turn. Sadly, I double checked the rules. Grot Bombs don't have the ground attack rule attached to them, so they cannot be used to attack ground targets. So yeah, unfortunately, Grot Bombs are only good against other aircraft. Unfortunately for the Dakajets, although they took shots at the Hydras in an attempt to destroy them, they didn't shoot at the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts were at medium range, and the Dakajets would have suffered a penalty trying to shoot through the smoke. The Thunderbolts, on the other hand, all have infrared except for the Thunderbolt Fury, this guy here. So Thunderbolt Fury, or sorry, the regular Thunderbolts have no penalty shooting at medium range. And wouldn't you know it, the Dakajet there in the middle is mid-range, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexes away. So Thunderbolt gets 6 shots with his quad auto cannons, 5s to hit and 4s to damage. And we got 1 hit. Fortunately for the Dakajet, autocannons do not explode on a 6. And we rolled a 3, so the Dakajet is fine. The Thunderbolt Fury here, though, he does not have infrared, so he'll be cut down to half dice at medium range. However, that's normally 7. You round up, he gets 4 dice. Oops, forgot. The other guy gets 2 last cannon shots too. Let's see if I can hit with the last cannons. 1 hit with the last cannon. That damages on a 2+. 6, it explodes. He rolled a 1. Dakajet with a single wound lives to fly another turn. So back to the Fury. He gets 4 shots with his Avenger Bolt Cannon, needing 5s to hit. He'll hit once. Now he will damage on a 4 and extra damage on a 6. No damage, but he does get a single las cannon shot. That will hit, and it will do damage on 2+, extra damage on a 6. 2+. The Dakajet takes a damage point. That leaves these 2 Thunderbolts to take and do their final activations of the turn. Unfortunately, or fortunately, if you're an orc, this Thunderbolt, he's sitting at 8 hexes away from the Phytobomba. That's long range. You cannot shoot long range inside smoke. However, this Thunderbolt is at range 7, so he's at mid-range. He gets his full rate of fire at the Phytobomba. So that'll be 6 shots, needing 5s to hit. And we're looking at 3 hits so far. And autocannons need 4+ to damage. They do not cause extra damage on a 6. And no damage from the autocannons. 2 las cannon shots, needing 5s to hit. And we get 1 hit with the las cannon. And it needs a 2+ to damage. 6 does extra. And he rolled a 1, so no damage from either of these 2 Thunderbolts. And that will end the shooting phase of turn 1. So at the end of turn 1, there's no tailing, no stalled aircraft. No one's got enough casualties to force a disengagement turn. So I've already given out the orders to begin turn 2. I'm going to remove these 2 objectives because neither of them are relevant. We'll just have to wait and see if they find counter number 4. So, rolling to see who gets initiative this turn. Once again, blue is Imperials, green is Orcs. And the Orcs have the initiative. They go first. Not really what I'd like, but we'll start with the Phytobomba. He's at speed 7. He's got a level flight. I'm going to reduce him to speed 6. He's only got a throttle of 1. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn once, and 6. And by doing that, he's now within 3 of both these objectives at the end of his move. So we can check both. There's 6. There's number 4. Number 4 has been found. We can take off the other coins. So we now got to get one of the Orc transports to land within 3 hexes of this coin. Looking at that, I think I'm going to do this one next. He's doing a stall turn. He's going speed 4. I'm going to increase him to speed 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has to go over to the next side, and I'm going to rotate him that way. Now, because he's had to jump over, I have to roll a dice to see whether or not he takes structural damage. On a 1, he's damaged, otherwise he's okay. He takes a point of damage. So, next, Orc activation. I'll do the heavy bomber. He was doing level flight. Knowing the objective's way over there, I'm just going to go 1, turn 2, 3, 4. I don't expect he'll make it to the objective before the Grot Bomber, but he'll make a good backup for him. Looking at the Imperials, let's get this guy going. He's doing a 6, which is called a stoop. So, first I think I'm going to increase his speed to 6. I'm going to go turn. 1, 2, back this way, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to turn him like so. Let's move the Dakajet. He's going speed 8 right now. I would love to be able to fall in behind him, but I can only reduce down to 2, down to 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's not going to be able to keep him in arc. But he can move this way to try and protect the other Orc flyers. So 2, turn 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And hopefully he'll be able to provide support before the Imperials shoot down our friend. Next Imperial flyer to activate, we'll take and do a stall turn. Again, he's at speed 4. I'm going to increase him to speed 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he'll turn around. And for now, actually, I think I'll do him like so. The next Orc Dakajet, he's got a 2. He's doing this. Oh, what do they call it? Swoop. Sort of regretting that decision right now, but speed 8. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4. Yeah, I'm going to reduce his speed by 2, so he's going from 8 down to 6. Turn 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn again. 5, 6. That leaves the last Imperial flyer. He's also doing one of those stoops. Oops. Can't kick the camera. Bad. 4. I think I'm going to want to increase his speed to 6. So turn 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn 5, 6, and he's going to turn this way. So hopefully between the Fury and the Thunderbolt, we'll catch the Grot Bomber as it comes forward. And that leaves the Grot Bomber his last move, and he's got a 1. So I'm still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 away, but I can land up to 3 hexes away. 1, 2, 3, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexes. He's going to slow down to speed 3, I think. And he's going to go 1, 2, 3. And that's where he'll be. And that will be all the movement for turn 2. So Orcs got first activation of turn 2. Thought long and hard who I was going to use first, and then I realized this poor Dakajet number 1, he's going head to head with Thunderbolt, and he's got 2 other Thunderbolts behind him that have angle on them. So I'm probably going to lose him this turn. I'm going to shoot now before I do. So red 1 going up against Thunderbolt. 8 shots, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. And not one hit. Oh, this is just not good for the Dakajet. From the Imperial side, this Hydra battery is going to shoot at red 2. Red 2 is at short range, so no penalties. And maximum fire for the Hydra, so it's going to be 6 dice, 5s to hit and 5s to damage. And we've managed to hit twice. And remember, we're already damaged. 1 more point of damage and the Dakajet goes down. And no damage from the Hydra. So for our next activation for the Orcs, we're going to activate the Heavy Bomber. Now when you first look at it, that's the front arc and side arc. You would think the Thunderbolt and the Fury are safe because they're not in the front arc. Actually, they're in the starboard arc, and that's where all the guns are for the Heavy Bomber. So I'm not going to shoot the Fury. The Fury's penalized into smoke, so I don't want to waste my shots on him. Also, this Thunderbolt has angle to the Grot Bomber. I want to protect the Grot Bomber. 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes. This Thunderbolt is still in short range, so I get maximum fire. So, from the starboard guns, we get 6 dice. Plus there's a dorsal turret which goes all the way around and up. Adds another 3 dice for a total of 9 dice. Needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. Let's see what happens. Oops. So 3 hits from the Shudas. Needing 5s to damage the Thunderbolt. No damage, 4s and 2s. Unfortunately, there's nothing in the port arc. And it looks like, yeah, the other Thunderbolt in the rear here, he's not in the tailing arc. Not that the Heavy Bomber actually has any guns to the rear. So that's it for firing for the Heavy Bomber. Speaking of the Grot Bomber, the Hydras are at mid-range. These two here, 1 and 2. The Fighter Bomber is closer, but he's really done all the damage he needed to do. He's discovered where the big boss has been shot down. So the Hydras are going to concentrate on the Grot Bomber in hopes that they'll weaken it enough that the Thunderbolts and the Fury can finish shooting it down. So we'll start with this one. Medium range and smoke, he gets 2 shots, needing 5s and 5s. And we got a single hit so far, needing a 5 to damage the Grot Bomber. And we got it. So 1 point of damage to the Grot Bomber so far. So we're going to activate the Grot Bomber now. Grot Bomber doesn't have the side weapons that the Heavy Bomber has, but it does have 2 turrets, one on the port, one on the starboard. So looking at the port side, he's in short range to this Thunderbolt, and he's in the side arc. So he's going to take a shot at him. At short range, he gets 2 shots. So needing 5s and 5s. No hits on the Thunderbolt. Now he has the same option on the starboard side. Both of these Thunderbolts and the Thunderbolt Fury are in range. The problem is the Thunderbolt that's got arc on him is at medium range. So he would only get 1 shot at him and it wouldn't be enough to shoot him down. However, he gets 2 shots at the Fury because the Fury is at 4 hexes away, that's short range. It's a tough call. I think I'm going to take the 2 shots at the Fury simply because more chances to hit, more chances to damage. So again, needing 5s and 5s. No hits anyway. Unfortunately, there's nobody in the... Oh, well, these guys are in the front arc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And... turn that over before... No, he shot. Forget that. No, he didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're both at medium range. Neither of them have extra damage. So I'll just take a shot at this one. Medium range, he's got quad big shooters, 4 shots normally, but down to 2 because of medium range and smoke. So 5s and 5s, and again, no hits. So Grot Bomber does nothing. Next Imperial activation, we're going to have the second Hydra take a shot at the Grot Bomber. Again, 2 shots, needing 5s and 5s. And we got a 6, so there's 1 hit. Needing another 5. Nope, no damage. No shooting. More shooting for him this turn. So the only fighter that the Orcs have left that has any good shooting, well, this Daka Jet has nothing in his front arc. He can't even strafe ground targets. So he's out of it. You'd think the fighter bomber's out, but he actually does have a turret on the back. The problem is it's not a very good turret, and there's nobody in short range he can shoot at. Turret's only good for same altitude and above, so the Hydra being on the ground level is too low. He can't draw a line to it. The only other target he really has is that Thunderbolt. Unfortunately, Thunderbolt is at medium range. That cuts the number of dice down. He gets a single shot needing 5s and 5s. And he will miss with a 4. So for a bit of a long shot, this Hydra is at medium range to the heavy bomber. 2 shots, needing 5s and 5s. That one I'll say is cocked. And it's a 1, but the other one will hit. Need to roll a 5+ to damage the bomber, and we will fail to damage. However, the Thunderbolt behind him, he's just barely got him out of the arc. Oh, that's too bad. It would have been nice if he made it. So he's out of it. That just leaves these 3 to finish doing what they want to do. So at this point, the Fury does not have arc on. Well, he has arc on him, but at short range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's better off shooting at our friend here. So mid-range, he does not have IR, but he does have 7 shots normally, so he drops down to 4 shots, needing 5s to hit. And we got 3 hits, 4s to damage, 6 explode. We got 1 more damage, so the fighter bomber takes the 2nd damage point. And 1 last cannon shot misses. So that takes care of the Fury. Meanwhile, the other Thunderbolt, if I can just adjust this a bit. He's actually got the Grot Bomber in his front arc, and he's at medium range. And he has infrared targeting, so there's no hindering his shooting. So that's 6 shots with the quad auto cannon, 5s to hit, 4s to damage. Now we got 1 hit. Oops. So 4+ to damage, and he will damage the Grot Bomber for a second point. He also has 2 las cannon shots, needing 5s to hit and 2s to damage. The las cannons will miss. That takes care of that thunderbolt. And that leaves just our last thunderbolt over here. He's too close really to shoot at him, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Long range. No, he can't do that. He may as well take a shot at close range at Dakajet 1. So at short range, Thunderbolt has 2 shots with the autocannon. The laser cannons are too close to shoot. So needing 5s to hit. We got 2 hits, and he needs 4+ to damage. Both damage. The Dakajet only had 1 extra hull point, so the second Dakajet down for the game. So end of turn 2, we've got no tailing, and nobody's ready to break away just yet, but the Orcs have some serious decisions to make. First of all, the Grot Bomber. He's probably within 2 turns of being able to land and rescue the big boss. However, he already has 2 damage points against him, 4 more damage points, and he's going to be gone. The other concern is that he's got to fly between these 2 Hydras at short range. They're probably going to tear him apart if he comes in by himself. Neither of those Hydras have been damaged, so he could use some help there. Fortunately, the Heavy Bomber is not too far behind. If the Grot Bomber gets shot down before he can rescue the big boss, maybe the Heavy Bomber can do it. Meanwhile, looking at the fighter escort, we've lost 2 of our Dakajets. I got 1 Dakajet left, but he's damaged, and we have a fighter bomber that's also got 2 points of damage. He's got 1 point left, but he's also my fly boss. I don't know if I want to sacrifice him. Is it better to have him stick around and fight another turn or 2, or should I get him off the map before I lose him? Yeah, it's a tough call. I'm going to have to wait and see how things turn out here. Meanwhile, for the Imperials, you can tell they've smelled the blood in the water. They've got the Grot Bomber already damaged. Next movement phase, those Hydras, at least 1 for sure, will be a short range, if not both. And with 2 Thunderbolts with Infrared and Fury so close by, they can probably maneuver to get maximum shots on him. Time will tell. Meanwhile, let's roll to see who has the initiative this turn. Blue for Imperial, green for Orc. And the Imperials will be forced to go first. Oh no, wait, green is Orc. Orcs have to go first, and that's not what they want. So Orcs having to go first, I'm going to move the Heavy Bomber first. It's the least damaged and important of the crew so far. He's doing a level flight. He's presently traveling altitude 2, speed 4. I'm going to let him stay at speed 4 just so he can get closer sooner. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think maybe, yeah, I'm going to turn him. Hopefully that'll leave him with targets on both sides and he can bring both his port and starboard gun banks to bear. For the Imperials, may as well move this Thunderbolt way out here. He's doing level flight. He's traveling speed 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he'll keep facing that way, knowing that he's covering the target area. He'll be able to protect. got an extra marker here. Let's get rid of these two. Move the Dakajet next. He's going to do a stall turn. He's traveling speed 8 right now, so if I move him... Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, won't do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn 7, 8. I'm going to drop altitude. So he's actually going to be going speed 9, which is past his maximal. He's going to have to do a check to see if he falls apart. And he's fine. So he's dropped down to altitude 1. Wrong way. And he's going to try to help out by maybe strafing that Hydra tower. Hopefully protecting the ground bomber as he makes his approach. That sort of leaves, we still got some Imperial stuff to move. Going to move him. He's going to do the stall turn as well. He's going speed 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he'll just come look back on himself the way he came. And hopefully that will help him out later. I really don't know whether I want to move the Dakajet next or the Grot Bomber. I think the Grot Bomber is more predictable, so I may as well move him next. He's not going to be able to get too far. He's doing a swoop. Now he's presently moving, whopping speed 3. And 1, 2, 3. I'm going to drop him to speed 2. And drop him from altitude 2 to altitude 1. Now at this point he's exposed to hard radiation, and because I've dropped altitude, he's going to stay really at speed 3. He's just going to move 2 hexes. So 1, 2, because the plane's there, he's forced to move another spot. And we'll roll to see whether or not there's any implications for him, and he's fine. Oh, where'd his counter go? I know I just had it. I'll have to check the film, see what I did with it. I know I had it here just a second ago. Anyway, as predictable as that was, we still have this Imperial flyer, and he was planning to do a stoop. So I'm going to go, I think he's speed 6. Yes. So he's going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turn once, 6, and turn 2 hex sides. And that way he's going to be able to get both the Grot Bomber and Heavy Bomber in his arc, although I think probably the Grot Bomber's too far away now. And that leaves us with our Fighter Bomber. Now I had chose a turn for him because I figured worst case scenario, if things look really hopeless, he can turn, bug right out, or he can go this way, turn back and hopefully help out. I think I'm really torn here. What the heck, let's see if we can go down fighting. So he's gonna turn, he's at speed 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he's forced to go another hack side. That means I gotta roll again, and he's fine. And he'll turn back the way he was going. 2 hex sides. 1, 2. And that actually puts him in a good position to shoot at him. Finally, that leaves the Fury, and he was doing a stoop. Oh, I'll get him straight. He's doing the number 6. So I'm going to turn him this way. He's traveling speed 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn 5, 6, and actually I'm going to go back 1, 5, turn, and 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's just extreme mid-range. But everybody's in play. And that will be it for the movement phase. So Orcs taking first activation in the firing turn. I'm worried about this Daka jet surviving. So he's going in, he's going to strafe this Hydra and hopefully destroy it before the Hydra can do any more damage to the Grot Bomber approaching. So 8 shots, needing 5s and 5s. And we got 3 hits so far, needing 5s to damage, and there's only 2 structure points on the Hydra. 1 damage point on the Hydra. And that takes care of Daka Jet number 2. You'll notice the white dice I put on the base. With the hard radiation rule, he would normally have to do a handling check or take damage. However, the first turn is free, so he's safe for now. Meanwhile, I'm going to just activate the Hydra now. Hydra's at short range to the Grot Bomber. I'm going to take and shoot. That'll be 6 dice, needing 5s to hit and damage. And we got 2 hits from the Hydra. And no damage, only 4s. That takes care of the first Hydra. So I'm going to now activate the Heavy Bomber. The Heavy Bomber locked out. Everything I was hoping for, I pretty much got. So he's got a short range target here to his port. He's got a short range target here to starboard. And he's got a short range target to his front arc. Or he could go for this target at medium range. But let's start here first. He's got, let's see, 6 dice. There's also a dorsal turret. Do I want to use it on him or on the damaged Thunderhawk? We'll see what happens. I don't have to decide right away. So, Heavy Bomber using the port. He gets 6 shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5s to hit. 5s to damage. Oh wait, hang on.
Yeah, no, they're both altitude 2 still. And he's going to hit twice. Needs 5s to damage. And he will damage him once. But he's still got 2 damage points, so I'm going to leave him as is. We're going to fire over here now. Same thing, 6 shots. This time using the starboard guns. And we've got 2 hits, needing 5s to damage. Neither damages. I'm going to use the dorsal turret on him. At this range, he's going to get another 3 shots. So 5s to hit, 5s to damage. Oh, we got another hit. Does he damage him? Yes, he does. The Thunderbolt takes a 2nd damage point. And I think we'll shoot up the Hydra here, just because no one likes getting shot up by Hydras. So the heavy bomber with its nose turret, it only gets 4 shots. Needing, oh wait, he's at altitude 2, he can't shoot at him, so we may as well shoot at the Fury. He's at medium range. So medium range, he would normally get 2 shots, cut in half because he's in smoke, 1 shot. So 5s to hit, he hits. Need a 5 to damage. Not this time. And that will end shooting for the heavy bomber. Second Hydra here, he's going to go after the heavy bomber. So that'll be 6 shots at short range, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. And he's got 1 hit. Can he roll another 5? No, he cannot. That's it for the Hydra. Next Orc activation is going to be the Fighter Bomber. The Fighter Bomber managed to do exactly what he needed to do. He's lined up this Thunderbolt, split half and half between his front and side arc, so he can shoot both weapons into that Thunderbolt. But for now, we're going to start with the forward firing guns. He's got the extra gun, so instead of 8 shots, he's got 10 shots, and at short range, there's no penalty. So hitting on 5s, damaging on 5s. And we've got 2 hits out of all that. Let's see if we can damage him. And he will do 1 damage point to the Thunderbolt. Now he's also got rockets, so I'm going to take and fire those now as well, because I'll probably never get another shot at him. So that's 3 shots, needing 5s to hit. And they damage on a 3+. So 5s to hit. We do hit once. Damage on a 3+. And I managed to roll a 1, so the rockets don't do anything. I can fire the the turret at him, but the other Thunderbolt only has 1 damage point left before he's shot down. So I think I'm going to use the turret on more severely damaged Thunderbolt. Short range, gets 3 shots, needing 5s and 5s. 1 hit. And no damage. And that ends the shooting phase for the Fighter Bomber. Next Imperial activation, Hydra is going to take a shot at the Fighter Bomber. So that's 6 shots at short range, 5s and 5s. Oh dear, 3 hits.
Remember, the fighter bomber only has one structure point left. 2 damage points. The fighter bomber gets shot down. And there goes our fly boss. So the Grot bomber is going to activate next. He's going to fire his forward guns at the Hydra. That's 8 shots. He can destroy it. It's one less thing he has to worry about next turn. 5s and 5s. And we've got 3-4 hits. Needing 5s to damage. And there's 3 damage points. The Hydra is destroyed. And that's the first destroyed object on the Imperial side. Now he also has his torso, or not torso, he has a starboard turret there. He's going to fire at that Thunderbolt. Unfortunately, that turret only has 2 shots. So 5s to hit, 2 hits, and 5s to damage, no damage. And that's it for the bomber. Actually, no, it's not. I can launch Grot bombs. I forgot all about them. So I'm going to launch the first one at this arc. I think I'll hold the second one back for now. And at the end of shooting phase, it begins its movement, I believe. I'll just double check the rules and get back to you. So the autonomous weapon moves right away once it's launched, and it goes D3 plus 3 inches. So that's 2 for a total of 5 inches, or 5 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Poor Fury. So the Fury's going to fire next. He's going to shoot at the Grot bomber. Medium range, but he has no IR, so he gets 4 shots, which is assault cannon, needing 5s to hit and 4s to damage. 1 hit with the assault cannon, and it does extra damage on a 6. 2 points of damage onto the Grot bomber, for a total of 4 damage now. This is not looking good for the Grot bomber. He also has 1 shot with the las cannon, and the las cannon will miss. So the Orcs have fired off all their aircraft now. The remaining things for the Imperials, we have this Thunderbolt. There's nothing in this front arc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, the Daka Jet's just in out of range and long range. And because he's inside the smoke, he can't be shot. So he has nothing to shoot at. He cannot shoot the poor Grot bomb. Sorry, everyone. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's just out of range as well. That just leaves our last Thunderbolt. He's at short range, which is not really where he wants to be. Although, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, that's long range. Can't shoot at him. Long range to the Grot bomber, his only target is the heavy bomber. And at short range, he only gets 2 shots with the autocannon, as the laser cannon is too close to shoot. So needing 5s to hit. And just checking they're both altitude 2. He will miss with both shots. And, oh, I forgot 1 aircraft. And it's this Thunderbolt right here. Again, he's at short range. He needs 5s to hit with just 2 shots. And he will hit once. Will he damage? No, he will not. And that will take care of all the shooting in this turn. So, because shooting phase is done, the last thing to test is the Grot bomb. grot bomb is adjacent to our Fury. We roll the dice. On a 1, it continues on its merry little journey and does not explode. On a 2+, it hits. Dice say, roll the 1. So the grot bomb doesn't go off. He's going to keep flying around for a little bit. So it's the end of turn 3, start of turn 4. End of turn 3, there's no tailing situation, no stalling. I do not roll for hard radiation this turn because both the Dacajet and the Grot Bomber, they both got into altitude level 1 this turn. However, I'm stuck with a moral dilemma. Well, more strategic dilemma. The Grot Bomber has 4 damage points. It's only got 2 left. If it stays at altitude 1 or lands, it's going to have to do a handling check. Handling check for the Grot Bomber is 5. So if it lands, that's one check it's going to have to do. It'll then have to take off next turn. It can only climb 1 altitude per turn based on its speed. So we're looking at least 2 turns of having to do handling checks. I don't know if the Grot Bomber can handle that, especially when you consider all the Imperial aircraft that are milling around. Someone's going to take a shot at him while he's on the ground. So I don't think it's worthwhile to risk landing him at this point. I don't think he can survive. However, the heavy bomber, the one on the left side, he has no damage, but he's still at altitude 2. He's going to have to come down at least 1 more altitude level. It'll take him 2 turns before he'll be in a position where he can land. On the other hand, he might have the best opportunity of completing the mission at this point. So that was the thought pattern. Do I want to risk the Grot Bomber and risk him being destroyed by the hard radiation, or do I just go with the heavy bomber and start with him? And I think I'm going to go with the heavy bomber. So the orders are already set out. Blue for Imperial, green for Orcs. Let's see who's going to be initiative. And the Orcs have the initiative again. They don't want it. So I think first thing I'm going to do, we're going to move the Dacajet. Set him up to do a stall turn. He's presently going speed 8. I'm going to bring him up to altitude 2 and we're going to maintain speed 8, and hopefully he'll be able to protect the heavy bomber as he makes his approach. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Raise him to altitude 2, which will take him out of the harmful radiation, but slow him down to altitude 7, and I'm going to leave him here like so. So for the Imperial players, surprisingly, all the Thunderbolts except the Thunderbolt Fury are damaged. It's not really a good idea for them to drop down. But I think we'll probably move that one farthest Thunderbolt and try to get him into position. So he's set up for a turn. He's presently altitude 2 and moving, speed 6. 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6. That's probably best. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's at altitude 2, same as the Daika jet, and he's in a perfect tailing position. The good news for the Daika jet, his weapons aren't as good at short range as they are at medium range. I'm going to do the Grot Bomber next. He's doing a swoop. Keep getting swoop and stoop mixed up, sorry. He's presently doing speed 4. I'm going to drop him to speed 3 because his maximum speed is 4. I don't want him to get damaged. I'm dropping him from altitude 2 to altitude 1. And be helpful if I move the dial the right way. So he's going to go forward 1, 2, 3, and turn. And because he actually dropped in altitude, he's back up to maximum speed 4. So we'll move this one. We're doing another turn. He's at 6, speed 6, altitude 2. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's okay for him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to drop altitude 1. So he's going to get a shot. Hopefully at the heavy bomber. And maybe prevent him from landing. That leaves our last Orc aircraft. He's doing level flight. He's presently altitude 1. Like I said, if he stays there, he's got to do a test, handling test. I don't think I want to risk that with him. So I'm going to set him to speed 4 and climb him to altitude 2. And of course, when he climbs, he's going to drop down to speed 3 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and he'll turn like that. Didn't want him to bank like that, but whatever. So taking this Orc aircraft, or Orc, Imperials, he's doing a stoop, or sorry, no, he's doing a stall turn. Let's see, he's going speed 6, altitude 2. If I want best firing for him, he's got to drop 1 altitude level. But if I drop him down, I'll risk damaging the aircraft unless I slow down. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Reduce speed to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn around. And he'll be back up to speed 6 again. Drop him to altitude 1. That gives him a nice short range shot here, but also medium range shot here. And with the last one to shoot, or move rather, that'll be the Fury. The Fury went and did a stoop. So I'm going to leave him at altitude, or sorry, speed 6, and I'll drop him to altitude 1 as well. So turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn once, 6, and turn again. Do I want to turn him the other way? Yeah, I think we'll turn him so that he'll aim at the heavy bomber. So at this point, everyone is at altitude 1 except for the Daka jet and the Grot bomber. Now we just have to see how the shooting goes. Actually, I misspoke. The Thunderbolt trailing the Daka jet, he's actually at altitude 2. So 1 Thunderbolt and the Grot bomber and the Daka jet are all at altitude 2. Everyone else is at altitude 1. That's why I put the white dice on them, showing how many turns they've been at that altitude. And because they've all just got in, they don't have to roll for hard radiation this turn. But next turn, if they stay at altitude 1 or drop, they're going to have to roll. I forgot this little guy. He moves after everyone else has moved, so he's going to get D3 hexes plus 3. Let's see what we roll for him. He's going to move a total of 4 spaces. He's allowed 1 90-degree turn in his move. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3. That works out really well for him. 1, 2, 3, turn once, 4. He's adjacent to the Thunderbolt. He's going to have a chance again to redeem himself. So my plan was originally to use the Daka jet to protect all the Grot bomber and the heavy bomber. Unfortunately, there's nobody in his front arc at all. So I'm scared he's going to get shot down by that Thunderbolt that's presently tailing him. Next best shooting phase I can see for the Orc is going to be the heavy bomber itself. Now you can just barely see he's got 1 Thunderbolt off to the side and another Thunderbolt off to the other side. Sadly, this Thunderbolt's completely out of arc. So we're going to start off with the starboard guns. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. Medium range is only 3 shots. Unfortunately, he's in smoke, so that's going to drop him down to 2 dice. But he only needs to get 1 damage point, and that Thunderbolt is shot down. So, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. We got a hit. Will he shoot down the Thunderbolt? And he does. Rolled a 6. With that, the Thunderbolt takes his 3rd point of damage, and he's gone. Looking at the other side, as I said, this one is out of arc. The Fury is not. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's still in short range, so there's no penalty for shooting on that side. So the heavy bomber is going to get 6 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, needing 5s and 5s to hit. Two hits so far. And unfortunately, no damage. He does have his turret though. The dorsal turret's good for another 3 shots. I could shoot the dorsal turret at the damaged Thunderbolt. And I'm
thinking maybe that might be the best idea. It's only 3 shots. If by miracle he gets 2 hits and 2 damage points on that trailing thunderbolt, the thunderbolt will be down as well. And there's the 2 hits, a 5 and a 6. Can he get another 2 damage points? And sadly, no, he doesn't. So that takes care of the heavy bomber. May as well get this one out of the way. Thunderbolt at short range, same altitude. He only gets 2 shots with his autocannon. He needs a 5 to hit and then a 4 to damage. He only needs 1 damage point to take out the Dakajet. So, we got a hit. Will he shoot down the Dakajet? No, he won't. He will miss. And that takes care of that thunderbolt. So activating the Grot Bomber. He's medium range to this thunderbolt and to the Thunderbolt Fury. Now normally at medium range he would get a single shot with his dorsal turret, or sorry, his starboard turret. However, he's in smoke. Oh, I forgot. Those thunderbolts are both at altitude 1. The Grot Bomber, he doesn't have that arc. He can only go left side and up. Because he's higher, he can't shoot anybody with his guns. Because there's nobody in his front arc at all anymore. The only thing he can do is launch a second Grot Bomb, which is what he's going to do now. And he's going to aim it just straight towards that thunderbolt over there. So it's tempting for that thunderbolt to take and shoot at the heavy bomber right now, but I think we're better off letting the Hydra here get his shots off first. So short range, 6 shots, and there's no penalties. 5s to hit, 5s to damage. Hydra will get 3 hits. And it will damage the heavy bomber once. Unfortunately, there's no more orc activation, so I'm just going to continue here a little bit more. He's got short range here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Grot Bomber's in medium range, and that's actually a much more tempting target for him, because he only needs 2 damage points to take him down. So we're going to take and shoot him. Again, he has infrared. He doesn't care about the smoke. He's going to get 6 shots with his quad cannon. I missed the dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1 more. 2 hits. Needs 4+ to damage. And the quad cannons do nothing. But he also has 2 laser cannons. 5s to hit. Oh dear, both hit. He needs 2s to damage and 6s do extra damage. And he will do 1 point of damage. That leaves the Grot Bomber with 1 damage point left. Next we'll do this Thunderbolt here. He's going to take a shot at the heavy bomber. Thunderbolt Fury, short range, he has 3 shots. He's not going to get impacted by the smoke because it's short range. So 5s to hit, 4+ to damage. No hits from the Thunderbolt Fury. So that's all the shooting from the Imperial aircraft. the only other shot I can see, forgive the jiggle as I move the camera a bit, I've got this one Hydra, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll be medium range, so his firing is reduced. He normally gets 4 shots, he'll only get 2. So let's see if we can do anything with him. 2 4s, no hits. And that's going to be it for the shooting phase. Oh, I forgot one thing. Remember, we went and launched him. I was supposed to take and move him at this point. He's going to go D3 plus 3. So he's going to go a total of 5 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm forced to move one more. However, he can blow up. Let's see if he's going to do that. To explode, we need 2+. And he rolled a 1 as well. So much for the fearful grot bombs. Both of them have missed their initial runs. So I forgot all along to move this little guy here. So he's supposed to go D3 plus 3 hexes. He's going to move 6. I can only change his hex side once. I'm going to go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He goes off the table. So that's 1 wasted grot bomb. Meanwhile, looking at the table here, end phase of turn 4, this Thunderjet here, Thunderbolt and this Thunderbolt both have tailing arcs. So they're going to have to resolve those at the beginning of turn 5. So rolling for turn 5. Let's see who gets the initiative. And once again, the Orcs get the initiative. Okay, but before we do any movement, let's take and do our telling fire. So this Thunderbolt onto the Heavy Bomber. It's going to be 3 shots at short range, 5s and 4s. No hits from him. Meanwhile, back here, same thing, 5s and 4s. Oh, we got 1 hit. Will he do it? He will shoot down the Dakajet, and that was number 4 fighter. So that takes care of the last Orc Dakajet. Time to see what happens next. Orcs having to move. We're going to do the Grot, or the Heavy Bomber first. He's presently moving speed 4. He's moving too fast to be able to land this turn. So I'm going to first reduce his speed from 4 to 3 and turn him this way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And turn him twice this way. That's gone. And this is gone. So we're going to do a swoop here, or stoop here. Terrible names. So he's presently going speed 6. He's going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 more 6 and turn again. That leaves this bomber. He's presently traveling speed 3. I'm going to leave him at speed 3. He's going to go forward 1, 2, 3, drop altitude to altitude 1. He's going to go head to head with the Thunderbolt. Oh wait, he's doing a 3. I don't have much choice. He'll end up turning this way. He'll still be able to get a turret on him. We'll see what else happens. So that brings us to the Fury. He's doing a 6 as well. And he's at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to turn him. 5, 6. And he'll turn this way. Actually, I'm going to turn him one more hex-sided. That way he'll have the heavy bomber in his front arc. And that leaves this, another 6. I'm going to drop him to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn 6 and turn. And he's going to drop to altitude 1 so that he can get a shot off at the heavy bomber. So that'll be his first turn. Meanwhile, the rest of these guys are all getting 2s. Oh, I forgot, I dropped him as well, so he's going to be back to 1 again. So he's at 2. And that'll be it for the movement phase. So orcs have first activation, have to activate first. We're going to start with the heavy bomber, mostly because I'm worried about this Hydra. Now, looking into this arc here, I'm just going to miss out on this Thunderbolt in the front arc. He's pretty far away anyway, so I don't think I would have had a chance. But the Hydra is in short range at 4 hexes away. And because the starboard guns are right side down, they can shoot them. So, short range, needing 5s and 5s to damage. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. And he only needs 2 to destroy a Hydra. Needing 5s. No, none of them hit, or damaged rather. So that'll take care. Hydra is safe. I cannot shoot the dorsal turret at the Hydra, but I can shoot it at the Fury. Except I've already fired in that arc. Can't shoot him. And unfortunately the other Thunderbolt is also in that arc. That just doesn't work out for the poor heavy bomber. So that's it for him. We may as well have the Hydra shoot back. Hydra gets 6 shots at short range, no penalties. So 5s to hit and damage. Hydra will get 3 hits, needing 5s to damage. No damage for the Hydra. And once again, I forgot to move the little drop bomb. So let's see how far he moves. He will move a total of 5 hexes. I don't think I'm going to be able to be of much help this turn. Let's see, maybe I can prep for another turn. 1, 2, turn 3, 4, 5.
And there's where our grot bomb will go for now. Unfortunately for the heavy bomber, even though he hasn't got this thunderbolt in front arc of him, the thunderbolt has the heavy bomber in front of him. So he's at medium range. He's going to open fire with everything, starting with 6 autocannon shots, needing 5s to hit. We got 3 hits right off the bat. This could be really bad for the orcs. And he will do 1 damage point. Next, he's got 2 laser cannon shots. Again, needing 5s to hit. 1 hit. And this is a 2+ to damage. 6 causes 2. And he'll suffer another damage point. Total 3 damage points for the heavy bomber so far. So the Fury here is going to take a shot at the bomber. They're both in smoke, so he's going to be suffering because he doesn't have infrared targeting. So instead of 7 shots, he's going to get 4. Needing 5s to hit. Well, he's got 2 hits, 4s to damage, and 6s cause extra damage. No damage from the autocannon. However, he does have 1 laser cannon shot as well. That will hit, and it will damage on a 2+ as well, and it will cause an extra damage point. So 4 points of damage to the heavy bomber. So perhaps performing the last shot at the heavy bomber. We've got this thunderbolt. He's at medium range with infrared targeting. Quad autocannons are going to give him 6 shots, needing 5s to hit and 4s to damage. None of the autocannon shots hit. However, he still does have 2 las cannon shots, and neither of those hit as well. So as we get to the end of turn 4, nobody's in a tailing position. That's a good thing. However, the heavy bomber has now been at altitude level 1 for 2 turns. We need to roll, handling roll on him, but then so do all 3 of the thunderbolts. So let's roll for the heavy bomber. He needs a 5+ to avoid damage, and he gets a 4, so he's up an extra point of damage. Let's roll for the first thunderbolt. They have a handling roll of 3+. Nope, he takes a point of damage. That takes him up to 2 damage now. The Fury, he's okay, and this thunderbolt is also okay. So far, we've got 1 damage point from hard radiation on the Orc heavy bomber, and we got 1 damage point on thunderbolt number 5. So moving straight to turn 6, let's see what our initiative is, and this time the Imperials go first. So, gonna start with this one. He's doing a 6. He's presently going at speed 6. He's gonna turn 1, 2, 3. Turn again 4, 5, 6, and he'll turn to this point. The Orc bomber, he's presently speed 3. He will slow down to speed 2, go 1, 2, and because he's at his stall speed at altitude 1, he will land. So he's now speed 0, altitude 0.
hopefully he survives to pick up the boss. Going to roll this one now. He's doing a 6, turning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to go this way, 6. And he's still at altitude 1 now as well. Which brings us to him. He's presently going 3, altitude 1. He's only got 1 hull point left. I really don't know what I should do here. I think no guts, no glory. I'm going to land him as well. He's dropping down to speed 2. Oh no, I gave him a 3 order. I can't do that. So he's going to turn 1, 2, 3. Turn again. And this time I'm going to climb him to 4, which will drop his altitude or speed to 2. But that will take him out of the radiation again. That leaves our friend here. What did I do with his tag? And he's doing a 6 as well. So he's going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, turn 5, 6, and he'll turn once. And that's it for movement, except we got a grot bomb here. So he's going to move a total of 5. Turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think he's going to end up flying off the table next turn. And that's the end of the movement phase. So as Imperial's got the initiative this turn, they're going to start by having this Thunderbolt go after the Grot Bomber. He's at medium range, and with infrared targeting, the Thunderbolt has no penalties, so it's maximum shots. 6 shots. However, Thunderbolt is at altitude 1. Our friend here is at altitude 2. He's going to need 6s to hit and then 4s to damage. Oh, he managed to get 1 hit. 4+ to damage and shoot down the Grot Bomber. No, he doesn't. He gets 2 shots though with his laser cannon, again needing 6s. Gets a hit. 2+. In fact, the 6 will do double points. So, with a total of 7 damage, the Grot Bomber goes down, shot bound by pilot number 5. So this would normally be the Orc activation, but wouldn't you know it, this is the only Orc aircraft still on the table. It's landed, so it cannot shoot any weapons, but it can be shot at by air-to-ground fire. Fortunately for him, there's no rules for ground-to-ground fire, so the Hydra can't shoot at him. In the meantime, he's managed to pick up his boss. So we'll just take that counter away and continue on with the game. So with no more Orc activations, the only thing that can really shoot right now are the Thunderbolt Fury and the Thunderbolt. Both of them are at medium range. Both of them would have to do a strafing attack. So we'll start with the Thunderbolt Fury,
because he's a squadron leader and he's going to want a chance to get a kill anyway. Medium range, he only gets 4 shots with his assault cannon. So 5s to hit. Oh, I see at least one. Yep, we got 1 6. 4+, and that will destroy the heavy bomber. No, he doesn't do it. So let's fire the 1 shot from the laser cannon, and that will miss as well. That takes care of the Thunderbolt Fury. So we're back to the regular Thunderbolt. He's going to get his 6 shots with the quad cannon, and he'll get 2 hits. Again, needing 4s to damage. And there we go, 2 damage points. The Grot bomber is destroyed on the ground, or not the Grot bomber, the heavy bomber is destroyed on the ground. And that will clear the table of the Orcs. So the mission is complete, and for the Orcs, everybody died. It really did not work out well for them. No extra experience for anybody. The whole flight list was 129 points, so 129 points for the Imperial Navy. The good news is the Imperials didn't get away scot-free. The bad thing is I've got to come up with a bunch of new names for all these aircraft. First of all, there's nothing in the rules that says you give up points for destroying ground defenses unless the mission specifies. I'm mentioning it here now because I know some rule lawyer will try to point it out later. However, I don't believe that's fair. If you damage or destroy defense, you should get the points for it, just like it was any flyer, unless the mission specifically says otherwise and tells you how to deal with it. So I will be giving points for destroyed and damaged ground defenses. Having said that, we got Lieutenant Bob shot down, and as he was not an ace, he had no bailout rules, so he's gone and needs to be replaced. That's 25 points for the Orcs there. They also destroyed 1 Hydra completely for another 8 points. Thunderbolts number 4 and 5 were damaged and were still on the area of engagement when the battle ended. They cost half points, so I'm going to just say they're 25 points. You know, technically it's 12.5 points, and you can either round them up to 13 or leave them at 12, take your pick. And the 2 Hydras were damaged. That gives them another 8 points, and that gives us a grand total of 66 points damage awarded to the Orcs. So looking at the game totals, Orcs did 66 points of damage. They spent less than the Imperials did, so they get no bonus, and they didn't rescue the boss, so they get no points for that either, for a total of 66 points. Imperials, on the other hand, destroyed the entire Orc force for 129 points, and then gained 3 points as the Orcs were 3 points less than they were, for a total of 132 points. Finally, Imperials gained 3 campaign points for a total of 7, and the Orcs gained 1 campaign point for a total of 5. Imperial victory, and Imperials are in the campaign lead, but with only 2 points difference, it's still anybody's campaign. So for the Orcs, hiding in the smoke really didn't help, as the Thunderbolts all had infrared targeting. The Thunderbolt Fury was impacted, only getting 4 instead of 7 assault cannon shots and only 1 instead of 2 laser cannon shots at mid-range. However, the Fury was still mangling targets. Finally, by turn 2, almost all the Orc aircraft were in short range to the Hydra batteries, so what little protection the smoke offered, it was gone by then. The Dakka jets didn't last long. Unfortunately, the 2 structure points is turning out to be a major weakness for them. I was speaking with a friend afterwards, and we both agree Dakka jets are expendable fighters, but you need large numbers of them to use them effectively. In this mission, 3 Dakka jets is just not enough. Even if I had taken all 4 that were in my squadron list, I don't think it would have been enough to help the bombers. Dakka jets need swarms and are one of those all-in or all-out options. This is a major weakness of this list on my part. By taking both Dakka jets and fighter bombers, I got a points flexible list, but I hamstrung myself by inherently limiting the number of Dakka jets I could take. Perhaps I would have been better off going all fighter bombers or all Dakka jets. If I had taken more Dakka jets, the 2 transports would still limit me too much, I think. While it was a good idea, in the end both transports got shot down. 6 structure points notwithstanding, it just wasn't enough with all the Hydras and Imperial fighters when they closed in. If I had had extra armor, I might possibly lasted a little longer, but for Orcs, extra armor means -1 to your maximum speed. It would have made the heavies a max speed of 3 with a minimum speed of 2. It would have taken longer for them to get into position. Finally, add insult to injury, both got grot bombs launched and ended up in the perfect position to damage Imperial fighters, and both failed to detonate. If either or both of those had struck when launched, the Imperials would have probably lost at least 1 fighter, if not 2. The transports wouldn't have been under such murderous fire as they attempted to land. As for the Imperials, what can I say? The IR targeting worked as I expected it to. That's why I took it. I knew there was a good chance the Imperials would need to fight in bad weather or at night, and they need the boost in firepower. I just wish I could have afforded it for the Thunderbolt and Fury. As for the Hydra flak batteries, wow. If I counted correctly, they did 9 points of damage out of 21 possible points over the length of the game. And they shot down 1 Dakka jet and 1 volley. When you consider that halfway through the game, that 1 Hydra jet was destroyed and 1 on the far flank was out of range of most of it, that's pretty impressive for only 32 points worth of ground defenses. The Dakka jets and the fighter bomber did the right thing attacking the Hydras when they could, but they weren't able to destroy them fast enough. And I have to wonder, if I had dropped one of the bombers and took another fighter bomber or Dakka jet, would they have been able to clear out more of the flak platforms fast enough so that the transports could have gotten to the objectives? And finally, what would have happened if I had taken a Marauder destroyer instead of a flak battery? You just have to wonder. So for pilot experience, unfortunately for the Orcs, there is no aces, so no one had a chance to bail out. Everybody died. I would like to think the heavy bomber crew just quietly succumbed to the radiation poisoning while they were on the ground rather than burning up inside the plane. As for the Imperials, well, Lieutenant Bob got shot down and is reported as killed in action. The Emperor will remember his noble sacrifice. Lieutenant Bill had a great mission, successfully shooting down 2 Dakka jets and destroying the heavy bomber on the ground in a strafing run. He gets 3 kill points in one mission here. Lieutenant Brad managed to shoot down the grot bomber as it was making its final approach to land, so that earns him a kill point. And poor Captain Biff damaged multiple aircraft but didn't actually kill anything, so no kill points for him. Unfortunately, the Hydra shot down a Dakka jet and the fighter bomber. None of the pilots get credit for that, and that experience is basically lost. So, for squadron experience, poor Lieutenant Bob was lost, but he's now been replaced with Lieutenant Buzz. The other fighter pilots have all earned Imperial Ace designations now, having survived 2 missions. Lieutenant Bill, getting 3 kills in this last mission, is only 2 points away from gaining an ace skill, while Lieutenant Brad is only 3 points away. Poor Captain Bill. He managed to damage multiple aircraft, but he doesn't get any kill shots, so he gets no kill points this time. And as for the poor Orcs, they're starting from scratch basically. No experience, no kills. That last battle was just like the Japanese Imperial Navy pilots at the end of World War II. All the aces and experienced pilots were lost to attrition. And I have to wonder, is it going to make the same sort of impact in the rest of this campaign as it did for the Imperial Navy in World War II? So some thoughts now that we're halfway through the campaign. We've already discussed the shortcomings of the Imperial Squadron list in the last mission, but basically it's inflexible with points. I have to adjust mission points in the game to help out both sides to make it more fair. Regarding the Orc Squadron, Well, DACA jets are definitely an issue. I don't think I have enough of them to use them properly. They really need to fly as a swarm, preferably 2-to-1 numbers against their opponents. I think I should have probably gone more with fighter bombers or dropped them completely for the DACA jets. The way I play, maybe go drop the DACA jets and do fighter bombers. I like that extra structure point, and they just last longer. I sort of wish I had extra armor for the heavy bombers, but as I mentioned before, that would make the bombers too slow with the maximum speed of 3. So any turn that I would be dropping altitude, I'd have to drop down to 2. And it's just, you know, even climbing, I would only be able to do maximum speed of 2. If I had added extra armor and WASMEC special engines to fix the speed problem, the bombers would have been 32 points each, and I hesitate to make the bombers that expensive. But it could still be points flexible if I stayed with the DACA jets. If I had gone all fighter bombers at 25 points like I have, the Orcs would have had the exact same problem as the Imperial had. So overall, both of us have obvious weaknesses after 3 games. My recommendation to people: think of how you play, plan your lists very carefully with the understanding that you do need to be flexible enough to adjust for different points values and different missions, different play styles. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this briefing, and you all take care of yourselves out there and be safe.